Welcome, friends. Today, we're doing another fragrance rotation video. It's time for the week ending the 12th of February, 2023. Marvellous. So, this week has seen some very little bottles getting used. A big bottle as well. I've got a 30ml here, I've got a 50ml, I've got a 10ml, and then I've got a decant, so that's kind of in the middle because it comes from a big bottle. But I'm just giving you a visual appreciation of what I've worn this week through the context of bottle size. The fragrances seem to be warmer fragrances, even though the weather's been warmer. I think what's happening is, right, I know I've only got a couple of weeks left of autumn and winter rotation, so I've been trying to pack like the deeper, darker stuff in, you know. But we will start as we always do on Monday, the beginning. And this is an all year round fragrance for me. Maybe not in the height of high summer, but the rest of the year, absolutely. And this is Francesco Smalto's Pour Homme. It's fabulous. It just smells great. It's got a smoky leather. It's got oak moss. It's got lavender. It's got star anise. It's blended beautifully. It's exactly the type of thing I like. This is fantastic. I love it. Bottle's tremendous as well. You rarely see a bottle like this anymore. For me, it's got like a bit of, is it Minotaur? About the bottle? Not the fragrance, just the bottle. You can tell how high regard I hold this in because I've used most of a bottle. It's awesome sauce. I've backed this up hugely as well. One of those fragrances I never want to run out of and that I want to use more of. I haven't been wearing it as much as I usually do, which is a shame. But I resolved last Monday to wear it and it was fantastic. Wears all day, smells fantastic. Love that. So, that was Monday. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. Delightful. Tuesday, I went for Eau Noir. I'm not sure, but you could probably wear this year round as well, right? And it does have a kind of similarity to Francesco Smalto, you know? It's got that lavender. It's got like a licorice note, a little bit creamy, a little bit spicy, a little bit warm. Fantastic. This is very hard to come by in this formula now. This green version. It was reformulated by Mr. Kurkdjian. This is a 2013 bottle, still with the green juice. It's not the cologne version, it's the eau de parfum version, unfortunately. I'd love to smell the eau de cologne version, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to. It's very difficult to find, and when you do find it, people either don't want to let it go or they want to charge 4 figures. Silly. But this is lavender, coffee, anise, licorice, a little bit vanillic, smooth, a little bit weird, but definitely fantastic. Wednesday, I woke up and fancied incense. On Wednesday, I actually made an order, or was it Thursday? I actually made an order for an incense perfume, and this is one of the only really, really incense forward perfumes that I own at the minute. But I have bought one last week. I think it was on Wednesday, because obviously I woke up in an incense mood and decided to wear Incense Avignon, very kindly gifted to me by Spy and Mash. I believe he's on holiday at the minute. I hope he's having a good time. But he said he didn't like this and very kindly gave it to me. So, cheers, man. This is lovely. I believe it was made by Duchefort, although I've been wrong before. It's got this ambery kind of dry down. So it starts off all incense, big incense, a little bit lactonic, not lactonic, like a little bit creamy. It's got this kind of creaminess to it that takes the edge off that really like caustic, dry incense, you know? It could be the myrrh. I think there's myrrh in it. And myrrh can be a little bit like creamy and lactonic sometimes. Elemi. It lasts all day. Fantastic performance. The incense note, and it's very rare for an incense note to last a long time. In my experience, it's not what you would call it's not like a patchouli or an amber kind of thing, you know, where you smell it from beginning to end. But this incense sticks around for a long time for an incense note. I'm talking 3-4 hours. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. And it's awesome, and I love the bottle. For some reason, just this little compact little bottle, there's no messing about with this, you know? It's smooth, it's creamy. It really, it is blended very, very well. It's 21 years old, this fragrance. Came out in 2002. Can't believe 2002 was 21 years ago. Yikes. How did that happen? Anyway, next we move on to another fragrance that contains incense. And this fragrance is Monsieur by Frédéric Malle. I have a bottle of this somewhere. I don't know where the full bottle has gone. It's out there somewhere. I think I'll find it when I do my spring-summer, when I rotate the collection on March the 1st, which is a Wednesday this year. So look out for a couple of streams that day. This is incense, tangerine, and patchouli. Sharp and scratchy it can be, this fragrance. It's deep, but it retains this kind of sharpness, you know? A kind of caustic, which I don't know what you would call this causticity, causticness, you know. It retains this kind of caustic vibe throughout the fragrance. It's introduced by the incense at the top, and it is maintained by the patchouli in the base. I've really struggled about whether buying a bottle of this, and I eventually found one at a really good price, so I thought, I'll have that. I think I paid like half price retail for it. Some guy bought it and was like, good Lord, what have I done? So he sold it to me. Cheers for that. The tangerine in this fragrance reminds me of the tangerine that's in M7. Like that orange vibe. And it saves it. It saves this fragrance from being just too dry, you know? I don't know if you've ever dealt with really caustic's the word, like that kind of where you touch it and it sort of like desiccates you like instantly, and like your skin begins to break down, you know. Which is why I like to hydrate so much, you know. This is a good fragrance. I'm still not sure. If you watch me review of it, I'm still not 100% about how I feel about it. Shouldn't have reviewed it really. Anyway. Next we have something that has a touch of evil about it. A touch of decay and smells wet. You know, a bit of wet decay for you. And it's this. No. This is Leather Oud. I couldn't be bothered to go and get the bottle out. It was going to be a massive shift. So I just decided to show this decant. I've got the 450ml bottle. You've seen it before. Excuse me. This has that wet kind of, I don't want to say recently dead because it's not like lilies and stuff. It's not recently dead, but it might be dead soon kind of thing. It's a very attractive, dark scent of degradation, of decay. It's sweet sometimes because of the beeswax in it. I know a lady who I sprayed it on once, and the first thing she said was like, "Ooh, sweet." And I was like, "Ooh, sweet, what are you talking about?" And I smelled it on her, and it was. The beeswax came out front and centre. It was huge. It's one of the miracles of skin chemistry. And I get some of the beeswax, but it smells much more dark and smoky and leathery and not debased or debauched, but like dark, you know? Like, I'd have to review this. See if I can put it into words better. It's a difficult perfume to talk about because to Western sort of sensitivities, it's very different from what we're used to, but I absolutely love it. Anywho, yesterday I wore an absolute classic, and no stranger to the channel either. And this is me tiny Amen, me little 30ml. I love this. I've got lots of flankers by it, and I think that this is still the best one. It was a brilliant fragrance to riff on and release lots of flankers to. The popular ones, Pure Malt and Pure Havane, too sweet for me. It was already sweet fragrance, piling on more sweetness. Not sure it was a great idea. Really don't like Pure Havane. I'm going to end up having to get rid of mine. But, I don't know. The original is right in the middle of the 90s, that outrageousness that came. Everybody was able to let their hair down after the end of the Cold War. Everybody started acting a bit silly. Everybody was relaxed, overly relaxed. It was that sort of 10-year period between the fall of the wall and 9/11. It was a fun but strange time to live in. I feel like we've always been trying to get back to there ever since. We've spent the last 20 years kind of thrashing around. And we've had some strange events happen since then. The rise of the internet, political machinations, economic economic sort of woes. The 90s was brilliant in the West for the economies. And this kind of represents this kind of like ability to release this kind of outrageous perfume. You know? And it smells like another time. When you've lived long enough, you get to see the things that you thought were like new and cool become dated. And it's a fucking strange sensation. It is a very strange sensation, but that does not stop me loving this. This is in that kind of strange space because to me the 80s is like vintage and it's like old school and it's cool, whereas the 90s is like not cool. It's not cool yet, hasn't come back into fashion yet. So I'll keep wearing it anyway. Juice colour's changed. It tends to this. It's gone to a light kind of green colour. But I'm not bothered. Anyway, today's scent of the day. Today's scent of the day is a perfume I bought in the middle of last year from my friend Peter Kokorin. Thank you, Peter. And I noticed it and I haven't worn it enough yet. So I decided to wear it again, and I do like this. This is the only good fragrance from the house in my opinion. And this is the original New Harlem. Apparently they've re-released it. With how synthetic everything that they've got is, you wouldn't think that they would have to really do anything. Like rejig it or reformulate it, because it'll have all been like completely synthetic materials, but maybe some of them have been found to be a little bit naughty, so I'd be surprised if it had been reformulated. But this is an American New York breakfast. Pancakes, maple syrup, that kind of thing. Very sweet. Coffee as well. I like this. It's one of the first sort of fragrances I remember smelling from a niche house, you know, because I went through being a fragrance fan and just being a fan of like designers and stuff until like the late 2000s. This is one of the first niche fragrances that I got a sample of and sort of saw what niche fragrances could do. I'm just looking now, and I'm looking. That's 3 of 4. That's 3 of 7 fragrances I've worn this week have got coffee in them. Certainly the last 2. I've got Eau Noir as well. I really like this. It's a little bit nostalgic for me. I don't really get that good a performance, or if I do, I go nose blind to it quite quickly. You know? It's very nice, big tonka note, syrupy kind of tonka thing, coffee. Maybe some lavender? I'm not sure. Maybe to like smooth it out. But there we have it. This has been my rotation this week. I wanted to keep this quick. I've got nearly 20 minutes. How did that happen? I've enjoyed talking about these fragrances. I will be back soon with some more videos. I'm thinking of starting a new first impression series again next week. I haven't been feeling too great recently, but we will crack on. Maybe doing some fragrance videos will improve things. Anyway, thanks very much everyone. I will see you all again soon.